So hello, namaste, good afternoon, good morning, or even good evening in whichever part of the world you are joining us from, live on Facebook, or if you are present in this room. My name is Deepak R. Khemani and I am one of the co-founders of Bloom. Today at Bloom, we are celebrating our 102nd consecutive live episode. Every Sunday we have been on air 12:30 to 1:30, talking to people across different geographies, across different genres, across different professions, depending upon what they are doing, how are they doing their bit to change where they are, change the surroundings, change their network, and in a little way, making the world a better place to be. Joining me today is our co-host and another co-founder of Bloom, Mr. K.V. Premraj. Premraj has been with us from the beginning. He has co-hosted in fact, most of the shows along with me. Thank you, Premraj, for doing that 102nd Sunday episode.
My pleasure.
We recently celebrated our 100th show 2 weeks ago. A book was launched at that program, and continuing in that tradition, we have a very special guest today with us. I will ask Premraj to introduce our guest today and take the show ahead. Over to you, Premraj.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you for that introduction. Yes, we have a very eminent personality with us in Chintan P. Mehta. Chintan Mehta started his career in international business development. He's developed various markets across the globe and built successful enterprises. After working for several years in different markets like Singapore, Thailand, United Kingdom, as well as West Africa, Chintan decided it was time to come back home. In the last 1.5 decades, he has built excellent domain experience from his journey with India Infoline, Way to Wealth, Sriram Group, Auto Hanger, which is a Mariwala family enterprise. He's a superb taskmaster of bringing awareness and operational excellence in the insurance domain. Currently, as CEO of Gold Leaf Insurance Brokers, Chintan, along with his team, is a master of innovation and disruption for mass and class of society. He places us every situation right with in-depth insurance business analysis, claims management, reinsurance, and customer retention. His team manages client business through most trained, data-centric, and field associates. Chintan is India Ambassador for Digital Insurer, which is the world's largest online circulation in digital insurance space. He's a mentor to AIC, BIM Tech, that is the Atal Incubation Center, Birla Institute of Management Technology. He's an advisor to Insurance Alerts, India's second largest and India's biggest dedicated insurance news platform. He's a guest faculty at the Insurance Institute of India and co-founder of Health Tech plus InsurTech plus FinTech startup dedicated to Indians working in the unorganized sector. His Sunday Quotes and Industry Experts interview series, Ek Samvad, is very well appreciated on various social media platforms. His achievements have been recognized with a slew of awards and recognition. Let's know more about this from the man himself. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chintan P. Mehta.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Premraj, for nice introduction. Thank you, Bloom World, for inviting me to talk on the opportunities for youth in BFSI sector and insurance space. Me getting a chance to speak along with Mr. Premraj and the man himself, Mr. Deepak Khemani, is an opportunity in itself. I personally thank Dr. Neeta Matre Mishra, one of co-founders of Bloom, for inviting me over this platform. So yes, it's my pleasure to be addressing you all, Bloom World members and associates. And so thanks a lot for inviting.
Thank you. So let's dwell right into the show, into the program itself. You have experience in the insurance sector internationally as well as India. How evolved is the Indian insurance market?
Nice question. So before getting into this, answering this question, I'll talk about myself, how I came into this space, the insurance
Please.
sector. In those days, if you talk to 10 people who came into insurance, 9 out of them will say they came by accident. Those days, no one used to choose insurance as a profession. As you earlier introduced me, that I worked in almost 3 continents and 16 to 17 countries. So after all those 6 years where I was traveling abroad and meeting people, and mainly I was into business development. I'm a business development guy. So wherever I used to go and whenever I meet people, when you talk about India, they will just ask 2 questions: that are you a Gujarati? And when I say yes, I am a Gujarati, they'll ask me about stock markets. And I had no idea what stock markets or what financial world was all about, because I had completed my medical education. I'm junior to Dr. Mishra. She was my college senior. So I passed out medical science and I went abroad. So I had no idea about financial space whatsoever. So when I came back to India, so and those days, if you remember, it was let's say around 2004 something. It was the time of India Infoline and other distribution expansion. There used to be newspaper ads almost every day in the newspapers for the recruitment and those. So I went. I used to stay in Andheri at that point. India Infoline was very nearby. I just for my inquisition point of view, I went there to be interviewed, that whether I can get chance to get into this field and learn something about stock markets or mutual fund investments or insurance for that matter. What last 6 years people have been asking me about. So I went there, they interviewed me, and it was like, there will be a 3 days induction program. You have to go through that 3 days training, and after the training, there will be a test, and if you clear it successfully, you will be given an assignment. So for me, I accepted it for the training of those 3 days. I wanted to learn what this stock market was all about, and around a batch of 40 guys were there, 40 people, and I was the only one who was no idea of financial world whatsoever. So 3 days was a very detailed training program. After 3 days, 4th day was a day they will be announcing results and giving assignments or giving the departments. I did not go there. It was 3 days. I learned everything. And around 10 o'clock in the morning, HR lady called me that we are waiting for you. Everyone has assembled. Where are you? I said, I'm late. I'll come in sometime. So, and they kept calling me. So I went there at around 11 something, and I was shocked to know that I had topped the exam. So it was just an inquisitiveness of mine to know about financial space. And as I had topped the exam, they gave me one of the best branches of theirs, was Worli, to manage the NRI accounts and their investments and all. So I took it as a challenge, as a learning phase, that let me accept it for a couple of months, and whatever I've learned in these 3 days, let me try and apply it in the real world. So I joined there, and one accident led to another, and I've spent 15 long years in this industry.
Wow, what a remarkable journey.
Yeah, so it has been
that with us.
Yeah, so all these 15 years I've been learning, I've been growing, because in a way I was a late starter. When people used to join at 21 or 22, I had spent 7 years into international market. So when I came here and I started working, I was around 28, 29-ish. And my bosses were either younger to me or of my age. So I had a lot of ground to cover. And I kept learning, I kept growing. And today, that's where I am. About the question you asked, how evolved is insurance industry in India compared to international markets? In terms of knowledge or the need analysis wise, we are far behind, right? But we are a developing nation. We are going on a right track. So I have all the belief that yes, in days to come, this is going to be a big market. Another thing is, this is a sunshine industry. For next 10 years, insurance sector or BFSI space is going to lead the country. So I'll come to it on a little later. So this is what I think. Indian markets are growing, evolving on a rapid space and in the right direction. So what happened all these years is I kept growing. As I mentioned, that I was the latecomer, the late starter. I had a lot of ground to cover. So instead of staying back at one place, I kept on changing my streams, my departments. I worked with one of my bosses for 6 years, and every year at the time of appraisals and promotion, I have never gone and asked him what is my appraisal or what is my additional income or what revenues you are giving, incentives and what all you are approving. Every year I used to go and ask him, what next assignment you are giving me.
Yeah.
So I've worked in almost every domain of insurance or even in financial space. After spending a couple of years in India Infoline, I was with Way to Wealth. A very, very interesting thing happened there, that there was some kind of a merger. Way to Wealth was one of the very nice financial organization created by late Mr. Siddharth of Cafe Coffee Day. Their top management reshuffled, and ILFS team came over. They took charge, and from CEO to all the department heads were moved. They came from ILFS. To my benefit, the guy who used to manage their insurance could not join them. So person from HR, from legal, from compliance, from mutual fund heads, everyone joined. And it was a distribution organization. Equity was a prime business for any CEO there. And they could have hired anybody, any top class person to set up their distribution business. Instead, to my luck, to my fortune, they decided to pick someone from within the group. And CEO then called me and asked that, can you take insurance? Can you set up insurance for me? So all those 2-3 years from India Infoline to Way to Wealth initial days, I was managing equity, mutual fund, and insurance, where insurance was a small part of that business. So I took it up as a challenge that yes, if I'm getting a chance to set up something new, create something new, I'm game for it. So so from distribution, from BFSI space to insurance was again an accident. Thankfully, if that ILFS person would have joined, I would still be doing distribution business. I got that chance. I picked that opportunity and developed insurance for Way to Wealth. During those insurance selling days, why we feel that we are in the right place, I'd just like to share one example.
Please.
I was sitting in one of the prime branches of Way to Wealth, that is Santa Cruz, and a person came for his daily trades. We gave him some tips, and he did those transactions. After a couple of hours, he came in my cabin and said, because of your advice, I just came today with nothing in mind whatsoever. So what should I do with this 25,000 rupees? You please advise. I told him that one of my colleague, he had insurance target. So if he can buy life insurance policy for him. And he said, okay, I don't mind. Any which ways, this money was not for me. It's just, I have got it today. And he invested around 22,000 rupees. He paid that premium for 50 lakh cover, some 50 or 60 odd lakh cover. And he went. And we all forgot that incident. After 6 to 8 months, a widow came in my office with her daughter, and a person introduced, my accounts guy introduced me that they have come to withdraw the money, whatever left in the demat and trading account. I discussed with the person, and her daughter was into medical school. Because of the sudden and tragic death of father, she had to withdraw from the college, and they were moving to the hometown. While discussing, I came to know that she is the same widow of the same person whom I had sold that life insurance policy. They were having no knowledge about that policy at all. I just called my insurance guy. We checked with the insurance company whether that policy was alive or in state. And after she went, we did all the communication with the insurance company. After 4 or 5 days, I went to that person's home, handed over that 50 lakh check to the lady, and I told her that complete your daughter's education. So that's the kind of what you call satisfaction this job gives us. And it's been a wonderful journey of this 15 years. I've always stayed hungry. The reason of my success is I've always stayed hungry. I've always stayed foolish. I've asked stupidest questions to the trainers and people who are advising or taking any trainings. And my advice to the youth will be never be in your comfort zone. I've taken some craziest decisions in my life. If I would like to share some of you, I'm not getting your audio, I'm continuing my thing.
Please.
During my insurance company days, it was my birthday, and I was out for a family dinner in the night. My daughter was around 1 year old at that point, and I got a call from my boss that today we were discussing that there has been some merger, because our company had a foreign partner from South Africa. So South African team will take over the Western region business, and we will be focusing on South. And I don't want you to leave you there. Will you come and join me in South? So I said, okay, let me think about it, and I'll give you answer in a couple of days. He said, no, reply me right now, because I have to inform the MD. So I said, okay, I have been with you. You have trained me on this domain. It's been more than 2 years working with you. So, okay, I'll take it up. And he said, okay, I'm booking your ticket tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You have to fly down to Bangalore. So at 10 p.m. in evening, I decided that tomorrow morning I'll be reporting to Bangalore office. And I went there, and I worked in the southern region of India for almost 3 years there. After working in South, one day, the chairman told the team that my boss, who was heading the entire country, he said, your home state, which was Odisha, you developed insurance business across the country, but in Odisha, you are lacking. Odisha, there is no presence at all. And during the tea break, my boss told me that tomorrow, can you go to Odisha? And I accepted the task. Next day, I was in Odisha, and I set up entire East from branches, from finalizing the branch, sourcing, scouting the branch, making or getting the furnitures done, setting up entire branch, interviewing people. I did for that company for almost 2 years. From a place like Mumbai to the town, a small town of Barhanpur of Odisha. I accepted that challenge. I went there. I established that entire distribution business in that part. When I was in Odisha, company felt that they are doing very good in other states except Gujarat. And me being a Gujarati, they thought that I can do better in Gujarat. So I was called and asked that, can you take assignment to work in Gujarat? I accepted it. My base was always Mumbai. I have never, in entire my professional life, I have never been out of Mumbai. My family has been stationed here, but I accepted every task which came to me. I went there in Gujarat and worked for almost 2.5 years there. So, and established all the businesses. There were some peculiar problems in Gujarat that though we feel that Gujarat is a very developed state and very good market in terms of insurance also, it is very good. But a developed market gives a different trouble to insurance company, and that is claims. So while working in Gujarat, I felt that claims are something which should be looked very closely. And though I was into sales, I visited more than 500 homes of TP claimants. I learned about claims. I learned about investigation. I learned about surveyor management. So I worked in almost every domain of insurance for all these years, and ready to relocate, ready to accept all the challenges. And that's how I have learned. That's how I have evolved. And today, when I say that I'm managing a very high-tech call center where we serve the super HNIs and HNIs of Mumbai, at the same time, I have a network of more than 10,000 people who are selling insurance in the tier 3 and beyond. So that's the rural or part of India. As you also mentioned about the product which we have designed, I have co-founded that company called GigSure. To my surprise, when I was going through the data, there are around 74% Indian population who fall into this category, that is unorganized sector. And there is no insurance or financial or health net to secure them. So we have created a product called GigSure, where it's a combination of InsurTech, so taking care of their insurance needs, FinTech, taking care of their financial needs, and Health Tech, taking care of their health insurance, health part, health and medical needs. And we designed a bouquet of product where we have combined around 11 products. So that's what we have been doing. Share questions by chat. I'll be able to answer. Yes.
So I'll ask him the questions by chat. I think that is easier. Okay. What are the opportunities available for youngsters in space today?
Okay, my most favorite question. I'll take little time to explain this. I'll elaborate this. The opportunities available for youngsters in this space today. We are a population of 1.3 billion, nation of more than 130 crores. The youngest country in the world with 62% of working population, and just 8% of our nationals are senior citizens. If you are aware about the recent developments Western Railways had stopped giving concession to senior citizens.
Yes.
So with just 8% of our population, and we are not able to provide them with the concessions for their commute. Just think of the social security and medical expenses required for this kind of people. Today we are a young country, okay, but if you look at the data, before 5 to 6 years, our average age was around 24. Today we are 28.4 years. So going forward, we will be the country which will be aging. Today's people have a vast disposable income, but very less savings. We are going towards the Western culture where after 20th or so, your colleagues will be asking for some loans, right? So just think, your government cannot provide you with the social security. There is no pension. Even government jobs, we have gone get rid of pensions. So there is no social security going to be there. There is no what you call travel allowance or travel compensation. There will be no healthcare solution. And with the medical advancement, what I always call is medicine या medical जो facilities है, वो आपको मरने नहीं देगी और महंगाई आपको जीने नहीं देगी. So that's the dilemma India is going to face in coming days. The only security, only safety net available is BFSI, is insurance, is your mutual funds, that's the stock market investments, and so on and so forth. So today in insurance, the opportunities are humongous because every Indian will require this in coming days or even in today's time. If we look at it from the other perspective, penetration, insurance penetration. Today, Indian insurance penetration is around 4.2%, and we are a developing nation. If we look at the developed countries like Japan, which has the highest insurance penetration in the world, or Britain, they are at around 10% penetration, 9.8 to be precise. So from 4.2, from a developing nation to 9.8 to 10% is what India will grow. So 2.5 times of your penetration increasing in the 130 crores. Japan is a very small country in terms of population, while we are 130 crores. What does penetration mean? Penetration, yeah, good question. Sorry, Brigadier, I forgot to explain. Insurance penetration is your insurance premium, country's insurance premium compared to your GDP. So that's how many people are insured, or how many percent of premium we pay. That is the insurance penetration. So in a developed countries, insurance penetration will be at 10%, and we are at 4%. So Indian insurance will grow 2.5x minimum in coming years. To explain it a little better, when I came into general insurance space, I worked in all domains, as I mentioned, from equity to mutual fund to life insurance to general insurance. When I came into general insurance, the yearly general insurance premium of India was around 28,000 crore. That was in 2005 or 4 maybe. From 30,000 crore annual premium, if you look at FY21 data, our insurance premium stands at 2,20,000 crore. So look at the growth. Industry has grown 6 times, nearly 7 times in this 1.5 decade. And recently, Honorable Chairman of IRDA had a meeting with all the stakeholders, and he has laid a very aggressive insurance targets for next 5 years, where he is projecting that India will do around 12 lakh crores of premium in 2027. 2,20,000 crore today to 12 lakh crore in next 5 years. As the person of that stature is setting the goals, he must have some validation. He must have gone through some data points. So it's not merely anyone coming and telling you that, okay, industry will grow at this pace. No, we are talking about six times growth in next 5 years into general insurance domain particularly. If you look at historically, we have grown in double digits. General insurance industry is growing at around 10 to 12% annual YOY growth since last 1.5 decade. And the coming data from the IRDA chairman, Honorable Chairman, sir, he is talking about 30% annual growth for next 5 years. So this industry is going to be growing at a rapid pace, and youth are going to be benefited. This we talked only about the domestic market. As you mentioned, I've been associated as a guest faculty with III, that is Insurance Institute of India. I would like to mention that III not only trains and advises Indian insurance professionals, but they train government officials who manages insurance, or the insurance company head honchos of more than 20 countries. So India, with all this domestic growth, we will have another 20-25 countries who will be looking up to us for insurance guidance. So just think about the opportunities going to come in domestic market as well as international market, because III is doing wonderful things. Okay, under insurance, this data point, what Honorable IRD Chairman Sir is saying, he must be looking at this data, and he must be talking about insuring people of the right amount. Today we feel that everyone life, and it came from Himani sir, because he is from the life insurance domain. Today, everyone you speak to has some kind of life insurance. And we feel that, yes, okay, I'm insured enough. But as sir can explain better than me, if we talk about HLV, human life value, we all are underinsured. There will be hardly 2 to 5% of Indian population who will be having enough insurance as per their incomes or their life value. HLV can be explained better by Himani sir than me, so I'm not getting into it. But yes, health space, COVID came as an eye-opener. I'd like to mention here that after Government of India, if anyone has contributed maximum in this to this country, is general insurance industry. General insurance industry has paid about 24,000 crore of claims in this pandemic. So health insurance is again a boom. As Khemani sir rightly mentioned, if you look at data of 2020 or 2019 rather, motor insurance was, if it was 100 rupees, health insurance premium was at 50 rupees. And post-COVID, if you look at 21 data, health insurance industry has edged over motor insurance premium. So health is again a sunshine industry. Post-COVID, I've seen more than 10,000 people being employed only in health insurance sales. There are companies who have employed more than 2,000 people just in sales force to develop their health insurance vertical. So opportunities for youth is humongous in that space as well. Another thing I would like to mention is, in our times, when I entered into this industry, insurance was all about sales. It was only sales. There were other domains or other departments, but very few knew what those are all about. And with the technology coming in now we can say that insurance is more of a tech industry than insurance industry. So with this tech coming in, with this kind of data we are talking of 30% annual growth year-over-year for 5 years, for next 5 years, technology is going to be the catalyst. So it's not only insurance sales youth will get opportunity to work in, but it will be technology, and let's say AI, ML, blockchain will be the leaders. Artificial intelligence, blockchain will be a key driver of distribution. I'll just share some example, because insure tech will also be a big player. Initially, if you wanted to insure your car or your motor vehicle, you'll talk to your agent or broker, and they'll say, okay, I'll arrange a guy to come for inspection. Okay. And they will inform insurance company. Insurance company will appoint some third-party agency to come and inspect your vehicle. And all in all, it will take, the person will come and take photographs. He will send his reports back. Insurance company will inform their decision to your intermediary, that will be your broker or agent. And then he will come and say that, okay, we can insure your car and this will be the premium. Today, if you want to insure your car, there is an app available. You just take a few photographs, a small video, and within half an hour, that entire chain from agent or broker to insurance company to the inspection agency, everyone will get involved, and within half an hour, you'll come to know about the status of your acceptance or decline of your motor vehicle. Similarly, in cattle insurance, that was a big challenge. If you have seen in older days, there will be a big yellow tag on the cow or buffalo being insured. And at the time of claim, one guy had to go and practically do that tagging. At the time of claim, you cut that ear of the cattle and send it back to insurance company, and the entire exercise will take a month's time. Today, there is just RFD tagging. One chip in the cattle, and you come to know about the whereabouts of the cattle and its insurability. Another tech advancement, I'm sorry, I'm diverting a bit, but it's an interesting topic. So crop insurance. See, insurance industry bleeds where the frauds happen. Crop is one area where frauds were in a huge amount. Because if you call me and say that I have, and particularly in a state like Punjab, where the farmers have a huge land. Okay, you call insurance person and say, this is the 400 acres or 500 acres of land I want to insure. No person can physically go and inspect those 500 acres. Okay, you insure it for 500 acres. You come back and after a few months and say that 50 acres of land or 100 acres of land, the crop has vanished. And we have no data points, we have no information available, and insurance company had to pay. Today, with the drones coming in an half an hour to hour's time, we can inspect that entire 500 acres land and say that this many acreages are non-cultivable, we cannot insure. So tech and youth, today's youth is the tech savvy. So with the tech involvement in this domain, industry is going to change a lot, and youth will get enormous opportunities for growth, enormous opportunities to work with this kind of thing. Even an embedded insurance, for that matter, is taking this industry a leap forward. Yes, it's. I completely agree with you, sir. We have been a push industry. See, we sell promise. There is, if you come and buy insurance from any, go and buy insurance, there is no commodity we can offer that you are paying me X money and I'm giving you this in return. There is just a paper, just a promise that if in case anything goes wrong with your life or your asset or any financial institution, we will be paying back this to you. And everyone thinks that nothing bad is going to happen to me. though you need a super astrologer to tell you that next 10 years, whether you will be ill or not, or you will be surviving or not. But we think that all the ill should happen to my neighbor and not me. So we don't go for insurance, as Khimani sir mentioned. It takes a pandemic to open our eyes that we all are underinsured. I've been talking to my team since 7-8 years. I manage a call center, a contact center where we call for insurance. And since 7 years, 8 years, I have been talking to my health team that try and sell insurance cover, health insurance cover for minimum 5 to 10 lakhs. If you look at we post privatization, we have developed a lot. 21 years of privatization, insurance industry has grown rapidly. But if you look at the data point, health insurance premium, what we have sold, average lies around 2 to 3 lakh of rupees. And it took this pandemic for us to know that 2 lakh rupees for a family of 4 means nothing. So yes, as Khimani sir rightly mentioned, it takes a pandemic. Today we are talking about top-ups and super top-ups that I should be insured for 25 lakhs or 50 lakhs or 1 crore, which I was talking to my team 8 years back. Even one incident, industry has sold average premium, as I mentioned, that health insurance average premium, if we took, it's around 2 to 3 lakh of rupees. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiated his health insurance scheme, he gave 5 lakh rupees cover to the people below poverty line. So that was an opener. That day I discussed again with my team, and I addressed on my podcast as well in some of my Zoom interviews that I was talking 8 years back that one should have at least 5 to 10 lakh rupees of cover. Today, what we have sold in last 20 years is less than what our Prime Minister thinks necessity for the people below poverty line. So that's where we have missed the boat. It's a collective failure, I should say. Not only insured, it has been a mistake from insurers end as well, or distributors like me who have failed to give that kind of coverage. And it took pandemic for us to know that we should have 10, 20 or 50 lakh cover for family of 4. So yes, agree. Reducing a fraud, yes. We bleed a lot. So I'll mention, when I came, I earlier mentioned that I learned in all departments. So it's not only sales that you will be doing. You should be knowing the domain. So I've done course in life insurance. I've done a course in non-life insurance. So licentiate of life, licentiate of non-life, diploma in health insurance. I'm one of the few first batches of anti-fraud professionals. So as you mentioned about frauds, it came to my mind that I'm one of the first batches of anti-fraud professionals in India. And when digitalization happened, I have certificates in digital insurance and from analytics, business analytics or data analytics from Google. So that's what I've been learning. So fraud is one of the very interesting topic for me personally, because whatever you earn, insurance companies are working on a very thin margin. So similarly in insurance, no, because it's people's money, people are paying with the trust. So no illegal or unethical person should get the claim. So to prevent fraud is the collective responsibility of the industry. What insurance companies are doing, let's say drone is one example I gave, that it will reduce frauds in crop. RFD tagging will reduce frauds in cattle. Telematics will reduce fraud in automotive space. Because in automotive space, the workshops and dealer nexus makes you bleed and like anything. So with telematics coming into the place, insurers will come to know about the accident real time, what was the speed, how it was banged, and it will reduce, and what was the kind of a damage. Even motor, we are talking about inspection through drones. Some companies have even started it in western parts. So that will reduce frauds a great bit. Another big fraud is in health. If you just go to any hospital, there will be two price lists. If you have medical insurance, your treatment cost will be X. If you don't have insurance, it is X minus 30 or 40%. That thing has to be stopped, and I think government is doing a bit introduction of Aadhaar card, or the standardization of the procedures is on the cards. With that coming in, the frauds will be mitigated greatly. Some insurance companies are notorious for denying claims on flimsy reasons. So again, as one wrong guy should not get claim, similarly, we should be looking at every ethical and genuine claim should be paid. That's the promise we offer to clients. As Premraj mentioned about my Sunday quotes, one of my quotes says that insurance sales is all about serving claims. So we are in insurance to pay claims. And if we do not fulfill that promise, then we should not be in this business. Yes, insurance companies tend to do that thing because, as I mentioned, there is very thin margin. For them, every customer is a fraud. That's how the claims team look at every customer. But it is duty of an intermediary. I'll not name the company or something, but I'll share one incident. There was one film star who was whose car got banged. And as I mentioned, we insure HNIs, super HNIs, celebrities of India and industrialists of India. So his father called us, and in my company, it is any claims get stuck, it is me who will address. So he was shooting along with Salman Khan for something, and his father told me that, son, this claim is genuine. My driver has banged this car, and before that star comes, the car needs to be ready. Otherwise, he will take job of this driver who is innocent, poor man. So you please help me out. I spoke to that insurance company, and they had denied, and with the reasons like sir mentioned in the chat. I spoke to them. I requested them that I've gone through the photographs. I've gone through the detailed explanation of the driver, and I think this claim is payable. And this they flatly denied. I gave them a day's time, 2 days time. After that, I called them and said that, see, if this claim is genuine, if you don't allow, and if you don't initiate anything, I have no other option but go to your seniors. And they said that you are taking this personally, you should, this is our decision, and it won't change. You can knock any door if you want. And with the networking contacts we have, I messaged the CEO and MD of that particular insurance company. CEO messaged me back saying that he was in some wedding and he can call me in next 2 days once he resumes office. The MD of that company messaged me back that, Chintan, what is the issue? So I wrote him back that, sir, one claim is there and I feel it is genuine. Please ask your team to look into it. Next day morning, entire Mumbai team or the entire claims team and sales teams are all put together. They were all on a call, and they said that you have escalated this matter to our bosses. We are approving this claim with a 40% deduction. That is how we call it a substandard approval. So I told them, hang on. Well, I am asking whether this claim is payable or not. If it is payable, then it is payable 100%. If it is not payable, I am not asking for any favor. If it is not payable, then you flatly refuse. I'll convince my client that this claim, we should not expect anything out of this. So again, they told me that, no, you have escalated, you are taking this personally, you are taking on your ego. I said, no, it's not ego. It is business we are talking. If the claim is payable, then it is payable. If not, then you flatly refuse. I'll bear this cost. If I think it is right claim what he is asking, I'll manage it on myself. And next day morning, workshop called me that they have approved the claim. So it's our responsibility or on a client's part, and that is why you need a broker. Because in the entire insurance sales domain, agent is a first underwriter of a company. Banks are selling to secure their lendings. Dealers are selling for their interest. Broker is the only fraternity in entire distribution system who represents client. And that's why you need a good broker. And it is our collective duty, because as you rightly mentioned, if the genuine claims are not being paid, then there is no point being in this business. So yes, it can be corrected with the right approach. Yeah, we are open to.
So if anybody in the audience would like to ask any question, you can ask it and then I will type it again, because Chintan seems he can't hear us, or you could type the question in the chat. Please go ahead if you have any question.
See, being an individual agent, you can be promoting one insurance company, yes, or one health company for that matter. Yeah. People do take agencies in family members' name, but by doing that also you get around 3 or 4 options.
Yes.
Being a POS, which IRDA has recently allowed, point of sale of a broker, yeah, you get the entire bouquet.
Yes.
Right. So it's up to an individual how he wants to take it. There is a threat or fear of losing renewals while working with some broker. That's also, people do take agencies and try and keep everything to themselves. I think we should not bother about data. Yeah. Though data is a new yes, oil, we should say. Yeah. But yeah, in India, it's the relationship which binds people. So if you have good connect with your customers, you should be going for the multiple options available, and that is through broker. So insurance ombudsman is, yes, it's effective. Post-COVID, yes, Premraj sir has asked, yes, insurance ombudsman is effective. Earlier in the physical era, it used to take a long time. But now post-COVID, they have also gone digital. So you can lodge a complaint and digitally they will answer through mails, or there are some Zoom calls are also done where the insurance company, ombudsman representative and the claimant are together. So yes, it's effective. We should take, if we have any such queries, we should take to ombudsman. But before going to ombudsman, you should consult a good broker as well. Yes. Because now brokers are also allowed to offer claim consultancy. Yes. And brokers are the qualified persons who know the entire insurance domain. Yes. So I'll advise, if through any agent or anything the claims are stuck, you should speak to some good broker who is a claim consultant. There are some online players also who are into this space now, claims consultancy. And then also, if nothing happens, ombudsman, we should go to it. It is very effective medium. Yes, it is. InsurTechs focusing on claim excellence, customer delight. Yes. Recently, as sir mentioned, that AIC BIMTech. That is again one. I'm sorry, I'm exceeding some time. But Airtel Incubation Center, under Airtel Incubation Center, Narendra Modi's initiative, Prime Minister has initiated to invest into startups. So this Airtel Incubation Center gives some money to the insurance, some educational institutes like BIMTech. BIMTech is one of the leading insurance management program, you can say coordinator, BIMTech, Birla Institute of Management Technology, Noida. So under them, there was a program where InsurTech startups was to be scouted and funded. I am one of the mentors there. So yes, and I've gone through so many InsurTechs there. People are focusing on claim excellence. My subject there is customer excellence. So customer excellence is a domain where people are looking into it, because without customer excellence and claims assistance, this industry will not get the respect which we deserve. So yes, we should be focusing on this, and there are new age InsurTechs coming into this place. Yes, we have a sub-broker model in our company.
Yes.
Yes, we do that.
Premraj, over to you, but you will have to, I do both. You'll have to say your closing statement.
Ending,
and
just 2 minutes, if you allow. Just
yes.
2 minutes.
Yes.
I'll just share one why we are into insurance. Yeah. One incident that 55 million Indians are pushed below poverty line every year because of medical emergencies. So health insurance should be pushed, should be given to everyone. It is our duty as an insurance distributor, as an insurance advisor to stop this gap. And one of my mentors, one of my seniors, Padma Bhushan, Mr. R. Tyagarajan, who is the founder of Sri Ram Group, I've learned from him. I call him a modern day sage, because they are the real sages in today's world. Narayan Murthy, Mr. R. Tyagarajan, Ratan Tata are the people whom we look up to. He always tells that to the insurance fraternity that we are in a social service business. We are not here to make money. We are not here in creating some commercial organization that I did this many crores of premium or my bottom line is this. No, we are into a social service business. And by doing this, if we are making 2% of profit, there is nothing wrong in it. So that's what I believe, or I've learned this years, and I try and follow this. So, and I convey this to all my listeners, all my friends, that we should always keep this in mind, that we are in a social service business. We are here to do good to the community, to good to the society, and to do good to the country. Yeah. Thank you.
That's well said. That's well said, Chintan. Well said to wind it up. Thank you for your time. It was a very insightful session. We learned a lot about the sunrise sector. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hirani. Thanks for your nice words. I'll be available anytime, wherever Bloom Foundation needs me, Bloom World needs me.
Thank you.
And it will be a pleasure working with Khemani sir and the team.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.